Let me tell you about myself. I'm Vanessa Novinger, a student at Temple University. I've held a few jobs, one of the most influential being at Hollister. I was hired as a part-time employee during the school year, but by the summer, I found I spent most of my time there. Many employees come and go at the company, so soon I was one of the most experienced employees. This meant that I was a leader for the new people. I found that the best way to earn their respect and their hard work was to be a transformational leader. It was imperative for many of these people that I make the job fun and always changing. I have taken the knowledge from this job and have attempted to apply it to my life. During group projects, I like to take control right away to make sure the group goes in the correct direction. One of the most important things for a leader to do is initiate structure to ensure the group is stable and feels like a resonant environment full of energy. I'm not one of the type of people who only does things because of intrinsic motivation. Good grades are important, but there's just this satisfaction I get out of doing a good job on something. Some intrinsic motivation, really. Another important component to my personality is my openness to experience. The old saying, "Don't knock it till you try it," rings clear in my head every time I'm approached with an unconventional theory or outlook. Because of my flexibility, I believe that any team I'm in is categorized as an adaptive organization in which people feel free to express their own opinion. In the Wall Street Journal article, "The Advertorial's Best Friend," TV shows discuss their changing environment because of the popularity of Twitter. Many shows use it for their benefit, such as taking advice from the tweeters about what should happen in the plot to make the audience happy. Some shows felt that Twitter was a challenge. If the audience is busy tweeting, they probably aren't paying close enough attention to the show, so some producers took that as a cue to make their shows more interesting and thrilling. The thing to learn with this article is that the producers of TV shows are open to experience and change. They embraced the new social network and worked with it rather than fought it. A significant accomplishment so far in my life has been my transfer of schools during my junior year in high school. A lot of kids change schools because they're forced to, or because they are having trouble fitting in at their current school. I did just the opposite. I actually chose to transfer from a public school to a small private school because I felt I fit in too well at the public school. I began to feel as though I was not growing as a person and that I was becoming too conformed to a typical high school student. I went from a class of 300 to a class of 38, including myself. I was challenged with some of the most difficult classes I have ever taken. For example, my English class in junior year rivaled my English class in college in the level of difficulty. I had to learn how to write well all over again to appease my teacher. It was very hard to break the habits of public school writing. I didn't even know what a thesis was. I felt swamped with work during the first 2 months and insecure about my decision to change schools. My friends certainly didn't understand my change, and I lost my best friend because she felt neglected all year. However, at such a small school, I was able to create close friendships with many of the people around me. Although it was sometimes odd to me that they knew every aspect of everyone's life, it began to feel almost comforting that these people would always be there for me. My other friends eventually came around to my decision and respected that I did something they themselves could never do. Now that I'm in college, I found that my decision to transfer schools and make my last 2 years of high school rather difficult was one of the best things I could have ever done for myself. I was very well prepared for the level and amount of work college threw at me. All of my friends from high school are struggling through their first semester of college and usually come to me looking for help with papers. This challenge reminds me of the Wall Street Journal article, "The Dating Game Gets Partisan with Politics, a Deal Breaker," because the people in this article were unwilling to go outside of their comfort zone. A dating website was having trouble pairing up people of a different political party because the clients didn't feel as though that the pairing could understand them. Many of these people need to understand that at some point you must leave your comfort zone and experience everything that's out there. You'll never know something won't work until you give it an unbiased try. Changing schools was one of the most difficult things I have ever done, but it has prepared me for life. I now know that I can change environments and succeed, that I can learn quickly to accomplish the things life asks me to do. This class has taught me 2 important lifelong lessons. Change is going to happen, and deadlines will always be put in front of you. One of the chapters in our textbook for this class was based solely on change, so clearly it is something that's going to remain in my life, whether I like it or not. This class taught me to embrace change as an opportunity. For example, the Facebook Artist Project put me in a group of people I had never met before, and a project I had no idea how to complete. The diversity of my group was apparent from the first meeting, but in a project such as the one I had to complete, I found that it was helpful. Everyone was good at something, whether it be recording, editing the recording, doing research, or simply working Facebook. But in the beginning, it also felt as though my group was in permanent whitewater. We had trouble getting meetings together and definitely had some differing opinions. Even toward the end, my group had trouble getting our project in on time because of some YouTube issues. However, we were able to push through all the difficulties because we successfully pulled off short-term victories, such as reaching a certain number of Facebook likes, or getting a certain amount of research done by such and such a date. The culture of my group definitely gave me a new way of thinking outside the box because we did not do much of anything traditionally. The group project and this class have also really taught me about deadlines. In high school, if your project is a day late or your paper is an hour or two late, most teachers are willing to let it go. In college and the real world, a deadline is a deadline, and freshmen need someone to teach them that. This class placed many challenges in front of me pertaining to deadlines because there are no excuses in college. HRM gave me major assignments every week that needed to be completed in a timely fashion and done well. There is no more half-done work because professors are not lenient. They're trying to teach you about the real world. This class was a lot of work, but none of that work was busy work. Everything that we did in this class pertains to my future and helped me become a better student